So now we'll move on to the NEDs. So NEDs are in various kinds of committees. Okay, so we'll start from the first committee called as a compensation committee or the remuneration committee. So when NEDs are in the remuneration committee, it works like this. The board should establish a remuneration committee comprised of a majority of independent non-executive directors. So there will be a majority of non-executive directors and a minority of executive directors. So the role of the remuneration committee is to set remuneration for chief executive, executive directors and chairman. There are some rules in setting the remuneration. The remuneration for the non-executives will be fixed. It's a fixed amount. So they will not be paid any bonus, any commission, any percentage or performance target related remuneration. Their salary is fixed. Attend the meeting, they will be paid. So that's how it works. So it is a fixed salary. Who fixes it? It is fixed by the executive director and the chairman. The directors or chairman are not allowed to set their own remuneration. So these people should not set their own remuneration. Remuneration for chief executive and executive directors are set in terms of fixed pay, bonus, incentive pay, share options and their related performance measures are determined. So CEOs and executive directors can be paid in this terms. So it is not that only like fixed pay should be like paid. It can be of any variations. Remuneration for chairman and non-executives are set in terms of fixed setting fee. So chairman and non-executive directors are only paid a single fixed sitting fee. No bonus, no performance related pay and no ESOPs for them. So that's how it works. So now we will look at the audit committee. The board should establish an audit committee comprised entirely of independent non-executive directors. So that's a very key and relevant point. At least one of the members of the audit committee should have recent financial expertise. So one of them should be a financial expert, something like he should be an MBA finance or a CA or an ACCA or a CIMA. The chair of the board should not be the chair of the audit committee. So the chairman should not be the chairman of the audit committee also. So what is the role of audit committee? Audit committee is a very important committee here, and they have a huge amount of governance roles to play in the corporate governance setup. So they have a wide variety of roles and they have sufficient power to execute their role. So these are their roles: receiving and reviewing reports from the company's external auditors, monitoring their effectiveness and independence. So look at here. The audit committee gets reports from the external auditors and they try to find out what is the suggestion of the auditor in terms of the accounting records of the company. Is it proper? Is the records proper? Is the information like true and fair? So whatever opinion they give, the audit committee then discusses about that in the board of directors meeting. So the audit committee also monitors the effectiveness and independence, because audit committee is the one which suggests which external auditor has to be appointed. So they monitor how well they are doing their job. So audit committee also ensures their independence. So there should not be any influence of the CEO over the external auditor. So the auditors are left on their own and they are independent in their thoughts, their processes and their reviews and reports. So next one is making recommendations to the board in respect of external auditors remuneration, appointment and dismissal. So the audit committee is the one who suggests which auditor has to be like can be appointed, and whether they are doing a good job or when they should be dismissed, and all these things are reported by the audit committee to the board. Monitoring and reviewing internal audit activities, reports and findings. So if there's any problem in terms of internal audit, the internal auditor can directly contact the audit committee. So they have an audit committee will take whatever grievance and complaints of the internal auditor to the board of directors. So reviewing the financial statements of the company, they also determine what is the kind of provision, any depreciation policy, which are like any subjective element which is in the financial statements. Those judgments and subjective elements will be taken care by the audit committee. Ensuring accounts are prepared according to generally accepted international accounting standards. Overseeing the procedures for detecting fraud, preventing bribery and non-compliance, reviewing the effectiveness of internal financial controls and internal control system. So this is a very important part of their work. The entire internal control system is established by the audit committee, and they also find how the internal control system works through the internal auditor. So getting information access from management and giving it to external auditor for proper conduct of audit. So if you see, it's a huge and wide variety of financial related role that the audit committee does. So now we will move on to the nominating committee. It is a very simple and a fairly easy committee. So the board should establish a nomination committee comprised of a majority of independent non-executive directors. The responsibility of the nomination committee include reviewing the size, structure and composition of the board, ensuring that the board has right balance, skill, knowledge, diversity and experience, identifying and nominating for approval candidates to fill vacancies on the board, ensuring independent people are selected as NEDs, giving full consideration to succession planning for the group, making recommendations to the board concerning membership of the audit, risk, remuneration and other committees. So what is their role? Their role is predominantly staffing the board of directors and all the committees. They should ensure that all the non-executive directors are independent, number one. Number two, the people in the board, the people in the board, like from chairman to executive directors to non-executive directors, the size of the board is appropriate to the company, the structure of it, the composition of it. So what we mean by composition is there should be a variety of skills and knowledge, diversity and experience within the board. So people who are like financial experts, marketing experts, something like operational experts and legal expert. There should be a wide variety of people in the board. We can't have just financial experts as executive director, chairman and non-executive directors. That might not lead to a proper kind of a balanced decision making. Only when we have a diverse set of people, the quality of decisions will be much more better. So this committee also ensures the succession planning. So who's going to be the next chairman, who are the people who can potentially become the next CEO or executive directors, which people can which other third party people who can potentially become NEDs of the company. So they try to do succession planning also here, and they also make recommendations to not only to the board but to also staffing the other committees also. So they play a very crucial role. Even though it is very simple, it's a very kind of a crucial role in ensuring that there is always sufficient and quality people in the boards as well as in the committees. So these are the other board activities that are being done. So the board is responsible for the creation and the implementation of the internal controls, and to find out how effectively their internal controls are working, they also appoint the internal auditors. So the internal auditor's role is to find out how the internal controls are working. So that is the one part of the role of the board. Another part of the board is to have an independent external audit. So that is another part of role, because the shareholder has the only information from the company is the financial reports, and that financial report should give a true and fair view. And they are also responsible for audit rotation. The same auditor cannot be auditing for a long period. They have to be rotated at a periodic interval. So here we will discuss about the induction and CPD. So induction provides a new non-executive director with the information he will need to become as effective as possible in their role within the shortest practicable time. So induction is very important for NEDs since they are not involved with the day-to-day operations of the company. NEDs should attend induction so that they can contribute effectively to the board, and NED will learn the following from an induction. So an induction is a very important part to a NED here, because he doesn't know anything about the company. He is a third party to a company. He comes and attends only meetings here only 4 times or 5 times in a year. So he doesn't know a lot about the company. So somewhere it is the role of the chairman to create an induction program and ask the NEDs to compulsorily attend the program. In this program, in this induction program, An NED will be told about what is his role, what is the board, okay, what are the committees that the board has, when the meetings will be held, what is the kind of behavior it is appropriate, what are the procedures to be followed, what are the current issues the company is facing, what is the nature and business model of the company, where it's like operating, who are their competitors, what are the products the company has. It also is a way of linking the new NED with other people within the company. So it is a kind of a relationship building effort, and it's also a company's main relationships. Here the NED will also learn about the roles and responsibilities of various employees within the company. So it is something like a introduction program which is given to the NEDs so that they can effectively understand the company, and they can make effective decisions with regards to the company's background. So that's about NED and the induction. So now we'll move on to the NED and CPD. CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development, and it is a term used to describe the learning activities professionals engage in to develop and enhance NED's abilities. So when a person is being appointed as an NED, periodically he will be like given some kind of a development program. Okay, so wherever he is like lacking some knowledge, or some new knowledge is required to run the company, to take effective decisions in the company, some knowledge will be like lacking with the NED. So what happens is the chairman should identify what are the areas in which the NED lacks knowledge or talent. Then he has to create an CPD program for this NEDs so that they overcome their weakness and they effectively contribute to the board. So CPD should be like regularly conducted, and it has to be found whether they are like actively helping the NEDs here. So it is a structured, practical and methodical approach to learning which helps the NEDs to develop the skills and knowledge in order for their organizations to maintain a competitive advantage. And usually it is proactive in nature rather than passive and reactive learning. So that's about your NED and CPD.
So if you guys really like the video, put a like for us and share it with your friends who might find it useful. So if you guys have any queries or questions, post it in the comment section. We'll be like happy to answer them. If you guys have any other ideas for further videos, you can put it in the comment section. We'll be like creating a new video on that topic also. So thank you guys. We'll meet in the next video.